Hi, today my name is Adam. Sorry, today I want to present about United Kingdom for a study. Okay, for firstly, cycle and geographical characteristic of natural attraction in United Kingdom. First one, scaffold by and the Chris. Okay, in July 2017, England led district become an UNESCO were later cite the somewhat controversial decision was in recognition of its traditional sheep farming, but that's not why we chose it for this list. Instead, we treated it why lonely beauty and for the range and is likely fails over the Viking brought the Britain for natural lake in England and results is the result arrived 1847 to the start drama of Scaffold Pie, England highest peak and the Chris seen her from Water. For second, kind kindness Cove. Kindness Cove. Okay. If you heard of the latest BBC version of Porta, then you have already visited Kindness Cove. At least in spirit, the coffee is enormous drop tower, sea cave and low like island in is Napara Porta, white sand beach. As it appeared in the TV drama, the beach looked extensive and permanent, but in fact most of it is only visible and accessible at low light. It's part of the desert, the most southerly spit of land on mainland Britain. It is worth planning your trip around the dice to see and swim in the stunning turquoise waters. Were in Cornish Hinterland that might up this beach after listed as one of the most beautiful beaches in the world. For thirdly, view from Miss Empty Snowdon. Okay, Mount Snowdon is the highest mountain in Wales and the highest British mountain of Scotland. The Snowdon massive rise from the center of Snowdon National Park, and the views across North Wales from its slopes and summit are spectacular. Mm, on a clear day, you can see Ireland, Scotland, and England, as well as a vast landscape dotted with castles and lakes. Currently in Wales, there there are eight official paints to the top. The Landberries pet known as the tourist pet because it is considered the easiest is also the largest at 9 miles. Okay, next. Okay. Swallow Fall is another park. Swallow Fall beside the A5 about 2 mile west of the Snowdonia National Park Center is between Swicoot and the Taylor's Continuous Waterfall in Wales. To get a sense of what it means, you have to walk along beside it. The fall on the river or upon a wedge we are not one cascade by a widening and ever-widening series of considers that thunder down layer upon layer into the river valley. Next, the Seven Sister Cliff. It's easy to imagine that when Britain broke away from mainland Europe, the two snapped apart like a piece of broken china. If you travel across the English Channel do so from the Seven Sister Cliff between its Eastbourne and Seaford of Easy Sussex to Ficam of Tract of French Lebeste coast. You're seeing an almost mature run of gleaming white cut cliff. You have to sail out to sea for a good view of the French cliff, by iconic view of the Seven Sisters undulating beneath several rolling hills of grass. Covered down can be enjoyed from several vantage points along England deeply in the so easy coast. Okay, next cycle and geographical characteristic of man-made interaction in the United Kingdom. First, Clifton Spencer Pride. The Clifton Spencer Pride is a Spencer Pride spanning the Avon George and the river Avon linking Clifton is Preston to Lake Ward in the North Summarizing opening in 1864. It has been a dual bright the income from which provide funds for its maintenance. The bride is built to a design my Isambard Kingdom Brunei is a great it listen building and from part of the B3129 road. Okay, next Port Meridian. Port Meridian is a tourist village in Canyon North. West is what the design and built by Sir William Ellie between 1925,000 and 1975,000 in the style of an Italian village and is now owned by a charitable trust. The village is located in the community of Perinidurrit on the estuary of the river Dwight to miles 3.2 km. So is Port Madoc and 1 mile 1.9 km from Meter Railway that permitted and serve and the location for Lamera film and television show most families as the village in the 1960s television show The Prisoner. Okay, next Edinburgh Festival. Edinburgh Festival, the Edinburgh Festival Friend also referred to as the Friend of Edinburgh Friends. Our Edinburgh Fringe Festival is the world leisure festival which in 2018 spent 25 days and feature more than 55,000 performers of 3,548 different show in 317 venues. Established in 1947 as an alternative to the Edinburgh International Festival take place annually in Edinburgh, Scotland in the month of August. The Edinburgh Festival Friend has become a world-leading celebration of arts and culture surpassed only by the Olympics and a FIFA World Cup. In terms of global ticket event as an event, it has done more to place Edinburgh in the forefront of world city than anything else. Okay, next for Britain Royal Pavilion. The Royal Pavilion, also known as the Britain Pavilion, is a great listed former royal residence located in Brighton, England, beginning in 1778. Was built in their stage as a seaside retreat for George, Prince of Wales, who became the Prince Regent in 1811 and King George in 1820,000 it is built in the Indo-Saracenic style prevalent in India for most of the 19th century. The current appearance of the pavilion, with its domes and minarets in the work of Architecture extended the building starting in 1815 church. Sir William and Victoria also urged the pavilion by Queen Victoria decided the Epsom House should be the royal secretary and the pavilion was the city of Britain in 1850. For last one, the Kelpies. The Kelpies 30-meter high horsehead, yaitu kepala kuda, school patchers, deputy Kelpies located between Falcon and in Germanus standing next to a new invention to the far and Clyde Corner and New River Current, the Heelys and New Peckland project built to connect existing community in the Factory Council area. Scotland, the sculpture were designed by sculptor in this court and were completed from a Clyde Corner in the new canal and station built as part of the Heelys land transformation project. The Kelpies are a monument to horsepower heritage across Scotland. Okay, that's all from me for UK. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Mama Shara bin Zainal and I'm going to present the subject tourism geography case study, which is my part is France. Okay, next. Okay, in this case study, we must do two parts, which is first natural made and then second man-made. Okay, for the natural made, in France we got two places, which is in the under the natural made category. First is Dune du Pilat in Arcachon, with a height of 106 meters and a length of 600 meters. The Pilat Dune is the highest dune in Europe. The largest dune in the world is still 5 times larger, but the beauty of Dune du Pilat is truly awesome. Size aside, its most impressive feature is its presence right there amidst a beautiful forest of pine trees. Go down at the foot of the dune and you will arrive on the basin of Arcachon, world famous for its oyster. A few steps from the dune, you can eat at the restaurant La Cornique, renovated by the French designer Philippe Starck. You can also book your room at the best price at the 5-star hotel La Cornique. Okay, second place under the natural made is Calanques de la Piana in Corsica. Located just 90 minutes by a car from Ajaccio Airport, Les Calanques de Piana is one of the France's best natural wonders. The French writer Guy de Maupassant wrote that the Calanques de Piana were one of the wonders of Corsica and even one of the wonders of France. You can ramble in this incredible landscape and several trails have been created for hikers. The most popular is seen towards the castle, recognizable by the piles of stones left by hikers. Okay, next we got man-made category. First place is we got Pont du Gard, Languedoc-Roussillon, one of most impressive existing ancient Roman structure, and aqueduct bridge across Gard River. It represents a part of 50-kilometer long aqueduct, 48.8 meter high and 274 meter long bridge with 3 stacks of arches built in the 1st century and used for its original purpose until the 9th century, used as a bridge in medieval times and up to 2000. With the extreme precision, it descends 2.5 centimeter over its 456-meter length. Built without mortar, stones are fitting that well that no water is lost. And then for the second place under the man-made category is Mount Saint Michael. Lower Normandy, unique monument of urban planning, a fortified monastery with surrounding small town built in a rocky tidal island. The island has been used as stronghold since at least the 6th century. Monastery was established here in the early 8th century. Monastic buildings constructed in heavy Romanesque style, mainly in the 10th to 11th century. Abbey was closed in the late 18th century. Island is topped with the massive Romanesque Mount Saint Michael Church in 11th century. So that is all from me. Thank you. Next, I will pass to my next group member. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, my name is Azman bin Rizal, and then my metric number is ASJ 2004 10003. Alright, today I will present about the tourism geography case study. Alright, first I will talk about the natural myth. Alright, the first one is the skinless field lime. Alright, in Curie, France, in Europe, truck has divided into 4 separate parts. Measurement at 1 m height give approximate circumference of 178 m. The lime tree is around 1,200 years ago. It is known as the oldest tree in Germany. Alright, the next one is the Stockstead Inca in Eveneck. Alright, most impressive oak in Europe and the largest oak in Germany, 33 m height. Circumference 11.25 m, the largest one in a group of 5 enormous oak. And then the last one is the Tausendreger Rosenstock. Alright, the lower Saxony. It is also known as the Rose of Hildesheim. It grew on a wall of the Hildesheim Cathedral. The rose bush reached a height around of 10 m, and documentation verifies its age at approximately 700 years. Slight variation arise in the tale of the establishment of the diocese by King Louis the Pious at Hildesheim in 815, but the rose bush is a common theme in all versions. Alright, so we move to the man-made. The man-made first is the Alterflecken Friedebach, not ridden with. Visually impressive, unusual historical city which consists of white and black half-timbered house, includes a fortified church from 1585, a historic section of the city Friedebach, which 89 half-timbered house. The district, which is also called Ospot, was built on the instruction of the then local ruler, Prince John, American of Nassau, in the 17th century after a town fire, and is almost unchanged since then. Alright, and then we move to the Bamberg, Bavaria, beautiful medieval city with artistic planning of early medieval cities and high number of valuable building. City flourished in the 12th to 19th centuries. Alright, the last one is Lubeck. Lubeck, one of the most important medieval cities in Northern Europe, which well preserved core of the fortified medieval city. Lubeck was one of the main cities of the Hanseatic League and prospered in the 12th around to 16th century. Contains a number of valuable structures, often built of brick. So I think that's all from me. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullah. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum. I'm Mr. Nazir. Today I want to present about natural made and man-made at Switzerland. Firstly is Mountain San Giorgio. Uh, the pyramid shape wood mountain of Monte San Giorgio beside Lake Lugano is regarded as the best fossil record of marine life from the Triassic period, 245 until 230 million years ago. The square record life in a tropical lagoon environment and practically separate from the open sea by the offshore reef. Second is Swiss Alps Jungfrau the extension of the Natural World Heritage property from Jungfrau expand the site to the east and west, bringing its surface around up to 8,000 82,400, up from 53,900. The site provide an outstanding example of the information of the high Alps, including the most great part of the mountain range and the largest glacier in Eurasia. Second is Swiss tectonic arena Sardona. Um, the Swiss tectonic arena Sardona in the northeast is part of the country cover a mountain around of 32,850 ha, which feature seven peaks that reach above 3,000 millimeters, 3,000 m. The area display an exceptional example of mountain building through continental collision and fracture. And man-made at Switzerland. Uh, First is early beginning. Legend has it that it was a Swiss maternal grandmother who first encouraged his artistic bent by giving him coloring pencil and paper when he was 3 or 4 years old. As a adult, Lee said that his artistic journey began during these tender years, and he counted some of the drawing he did as a child as part of his work. Last is Homecoming. Homecoming Chris Payne spent 4 years away. It was an eventful hiatus. He completed his formal study in art, meet and become a to his future wife and visit Italy. In 1902, he returned to Bern, moving back into his parents' home. He began to earn his keep by playing in concert, by writing review, by continue to teach himself to draw. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum dan selamat sejahtera. My name is Muhammad Syafiq Irfan bin Adawai. I want to explain about the characteristic, about the physical and geographic, man-made and the natural in the Netherlands. I want to explain about the physical and the geographic characteristic of the natural extraction in the Netherlands. Netherlands natural has a one. Is a Wadensee. Wadensee is a vast tidal system of the mud and coastal mud. When Wadensee mud is characterized by the location at the inlet of the Barrier Island. In the landscape, there is a lager formed by storm west in the 40 hour and 41 hour. Century overflow and the carrying peak scar behind the dune, and Wadensee is famous for the rich flora and the fauna, especially bird. And the Wadensee is also important habitat and sea, and the green pot dolphin and the white beetle dolphin are the only cetacean and the life in the sea. In the picture about the Wadensee. Adalah the physical and geographic characteristic of the man-made structure in the Netherlands. Number one is the defense line Amsterdam. The Amsterdam defense line is more than the just unit system of the foot, and location not far from the bustling Dutch capital. Study is also set the start. And point 3, the for many years in the construction of the alloy in the area around the fort. And point 4, the fort and the embankment on the Amsterdam defense line home to the remarkable variety of the plant and the animal. In the stem from the fat of the beard, from the segment and the top layer of the clay in the construct to the surrounding area among the slope in the nutrition. Amsterdam ni adalah sebuah benteng lah kat situ, dan lokasinya tidak jauh dari bandar Dutch iaitu, dan tempat tu memiliki landscape hijau yang cantik lah, dan kawasan tu tak pernah ada kawasan pembinaan kat situ lah, dan tempat tu sebagai rumah bagi pertumbuhan dan haiwan. Dan ini adalah contoh, ini adalah gambar dia. Seterusnya adalah the Milk Network at the Kinderdish Air Shop. And Kinderdish is a small tower near Rotterdam, situated in the area called the Amsterdam. And this part of the Netherlands lies below sea level, and his history of flood. Iaitu kawasan ni Netherlands ni terletak di kawasan bawah apa sea level bawah laut lah, dan kawasan tu tempat tu pernah jadi sejarah banjir. And number 3, the 19 would make teenager with the brain around the 70 for 0. The purpose of the pump action water is surveyed until level of the river had reached a level. The pump in the water in the river is called the lake. Lalu kinder dish ni mempunyai 19 kinci angin dan telah dibina pada 1740, dan tempat dia sebagai untuk mempam air bagi untuk pump terus ke sungai lah, iaitu panggil lake kot. Dan ini adalah contoh gambarnya. Ini adalah gambar dia. Next adalah lastly 17th century Canary era Amsterdam inside the single glass. Amsterdam, the Dutch capital, has more than the 100 km of the greater also this called canal about the 19 Iceland and the 2500 bridge. This has the 3 main canal. This is the Herren Bridge, Thyssen Bridge and Kaizen Bridge. Advantage in the 17th century during the Dutch Golden Age, and the former contracting belt around the city, known as the Greater Golden. Next to the main canal, there are you can see the 1515 monumental building, and the 17th century Canary area include the Prison Grass, Thyssen Grass, Herren Grass and Jordan. I want to talk about the characteristic, the physical and geographic in the Netherlands. Thank you.
Okay, hi, today I want to present about Denmark for case study. Okay. First, psychic and geographical for characteristic of natural attraction in Denmark. First, Tivoli Garden comprehension. When visiting Copenhagen, many visitors make a beeline for the iconic recreation space. The theme from 1843 to Tivoli is the inspiration behind the world famous Disney theme park. And here you find a hot range of attraction, including a roller coaster, roundabouts, puppet theaters, restaurant, cafe, garden for pavilion, and even more styled concert hall. Known across the world, Tivoli has appeared in numerous movies and is a true symbol of the city. At night, firework display illuminate the sky, and in winter, the gardens are adorned with light of the Christmas season. During the summer, you can keep free rock concert on Friday night. Next, Nihave comprehension. Nihave comprehension, the start of countless events of part of the city Nihave, New Haven, is a great place to store a grab a slice of comprehension cafe culture located to the rear of Amalienport Place. This was our once discreditable street of Dockland Pike has been given a new lease of life with its multicolored house, restaurant, and tall ships, some of which are museums, dotting the quiet sea. Niham is now a particularly charming quality and consequently a major draw for tourists and locals alike. If you're following adventure, you can catch a hydrofoil or Sweden from her of grab a pleasant harbor cruise to see the site. National Museum of Denmark, National Music Comprehension. A 10-minute stroll from Tivoli Garden leads to the National Museum. National Museum with Tivoli is Danish history, a culture. The museum displays an impressive collection of Danish artifacts, including a 2,000 years old sun crab, Danish porcelain of silver and Romanesque and Gothic trimming. Other collection highlight clothing from the 18th and 19th centuries, as well as antique furniture. Supplementing this journey back through Danish history is an excellent ethnographic exhibition with items from Greenland, Asia, and Africa, among others. At the Children's Museum, kids will find plenty things to do. They can dress up in period costume, climb aboard a Viking ship, and visit a 1920s Thai classroom. Okay, next, the National Gallery of Denmark State Museum for Hans Comprehension. The National Gallery of Denmark houses the country's largest collection of Danish art. The original exhibit, where one house a currency board by moved to the current location in the late 19th century. Ganji extension has not only significantly extended the space but allowed natural light to flood into the interior of the museum, covering more than 700 years of European and Scandinavian art. The museum display painting by the Dutch master Picasso and even much among other. Not surprisingly, final collection of Danish art are also on display. The cafe is particularly pleasant and a great place to unwind and sort of the surrounding. Okay, for last one, and for next, Christian Workplace Comprehension. Okay, one day teeny island of Slur in the Cantal Comprehension, you find the Danish seat of government boasting more than 800 years old history. Christopher in the power base of the Kingdom of Denmark and not home to the Parliament. The Prime Minister office and the spread court far of the TV series program will be familiar with the setting. Several wings are still used by the royal household, and much of this is open to the public. Bishop appreciates pure qualification of the city here in 1167, and visitors can see rooms of the Bishop Castle, which was destroyed in the 14th century, as well as the medieval portraits. Next, cycle and geographical characteristics of man-made attraction in Denmark. 1. Romanesque cultures. Crossfigures, wall painting Danish calligraphy are to be found in some 600 cultures across Denmark to top, representing the highest concern of surviving church murals anywhere in the world. Most of them date back to the Middle Ages was uncovered by Jacob most of them date back to the Middle Ages and uncovered by Jacob Corner. 1825-1934 carried out restored work in 18 cultures across the country toward the end of the 19th century. They lay hidden for centuries after the Reformation. They were covered with limewashed Danish coal, only to be revealed and restored during the course of the 19th and 20th centuries. Next, Frederiksborg Place. Frederiksborg Castle is a Danish Frederiksborg slot. It's a patio complex in Hele, Denmark. It was built as a royal residence of King Christian of Denmark, Norway in the early 17th century, replacing an older castle equipped by Frederick II and becoming the largest residence in Scandinavia on the list in the Slossen. Castle Lake it is surrounded by a large former garden in the Baroque style. Net Orison Bright. The Orison The origin or origin bright Danish operation season Swedish origin with very bright name origin is a combined railway and motorway bright across the origin strip between Sweden and Denmark in the largest combined road and rail bright in Europe, running nearly 8 kilometers 5 miles from the Swedish coast to the Arctic island beneath the middle of the strait, crossing enclosed by the 4 kilometer 2.5 mi Trojan tunnel from Pivot to the Danish island of Manager. Okay, second life Viking Museum. The Viking Ship Museum, Danish Viking Ship Museum, in Roskilde is Denmark National Museum for ship, seafaring, and boat building in the previous and medieval period. The main focus of the museum is a permanent exhibit of 5 original Viking ships escaped in 1962. The Viking Ship Museum also conduct research and indicate research in the field maritime history, marine ecology, and experimental archaeology. Various academic conferences are held here, and there is a research library in association with the museum. For last one, sketching pictures. Sketching is a Denmark nature town of is the coast of the Skan of the peninsula in the far north of Chilean part of Friendship Music in Nordland, 41 kilometer 25 mi north of Fretiken and 108 kilometers 67 mi north of about the part of Denmark. Skanje is Denmark's main fishing port, and it also has a thriving tourist industry, attracting 2 million people annually. That's all from me. Thank you.